So right now, there are 10 million Canadians who are currently living in food insecure households. 10 million. That's the highest number that this country has seen in the last 20 years. Some of these people work full time or they have multiple jobs and they still are skipping meals to be able to afford housing and rent. Food banks, we know, play a critical role to help with this, especially during the holiday season. And Neil Hetherington, CEO of Daily Bread Food Bank, is here to tell us more about what is happening. Neil, good to have you here in studio.
Good morning.
First of all, how do those numbers translate, this 10 million number? How does that translate into what you see at the food bank?
It's what we see every single day. You know, I never thought 8 years ago when I first started at the Daily Bread Food Bank that we would get to the point that more than 1 in 10 Torontonians has to make use of the Daily Bread. And just day in and day out, the numbers continue to increase. We just released our stats about a month ago. 4.1 million visits to food banks in the city of Toronto. And in a country as wonderful as ours is, that just shouldn't be the case.
1 in 10 means probably somebody you know, somebody maybe that you work with, is having to make use of the food bank right now.
Absolutely. You know, there are examples where I've walked the lines and I see somebody and I'm like, hey, you know, we knew each other from, you know, perhaps a business engagement, and you question, you know, what's going on? Why is it that you're needing the food bank? You've got a job. But the reality is things have changed significantly. We have seen that 60% have university or college education as their background. More than 50% have full-time employment, and yet they need the food bank. That social contract that we used to have of you get an education, you get a job, yeah, you work hard, you'll be fine, is not the case anymore.
So people are looking to help this time of year. I just finished asking you, like, how are you guys set up for this holiday season?
It's been really hard. We used to have to raise about $8 million per year. Now it's $40 million per year. And all that does is maintain our service levels across the city of Toronto. So it's been difficult.
Yeah, listen, I've been doing food bank stories for over 20 years. And I learned some things in a tour that you gave me recently at the Daily Bread Food Bank. And one of them is the importance of cash, which we don't think about. We think about cans. Tell us how cash is used at the food bank.
Well, it goes much further. It's still great when people donate food and drop it off at any fire hall, and we appreciate that. But when we have cash, it goes much, much further. As an example, there's an Ontario tax credit that gives farmers a tax credit for donating their crops to food banks. And so for about $1,800, we'll send a truck down to southwestern Ontario and pick up 56,000 pounds of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Fresh fruits and produce, which is the stuff that is often missed.
And so that now is actually by far the majority of what we hand out at the food bank. It's fresh food.
Those numbers that you and I are talking about, though, aren't holiday numbers. Those are everyday numbers. So tell me about the press that comes during the holiday season.
Well, so during the holiday season, that's a time where people are, you know, often they're thinking about how grateful they are, how blessed they are, and so they're contributing more to the food bank because they know there are so many people who just don't have that on their plates. And so, so that means that we need to stock the shelves, but it's a year-round thing. And actually, July and August are incredibly difficult for food banks because people aren't thinking about us at that time, and there are no meal programs in schools, and so it's incredibly difficult for folks at that time. So it's during the holidays, when we're most grateful, when we're most generous, that we need to stock the shelves.
Yeah, and it's very easy to go online. I mean, a lot of people are online right now for Cyber Monday. It's just as easy to pull up a website of your local food bank, make an easy, quick donation, and the money goes a long way. Tell me about the numbers of people who use the food banks during the holiday season, because that 10 million Canadians, that's not a special holiday number. That's an everyday number. How does that increase over the holidays?
So what we see is every single month, right across the country, about 2.8 million Canadians are making use of food banks every single month. In Toronto, it's about 330,000 per month, but 2.8 million right across the country. And again, I'm just going back, I said it already, a country as incredible as ours is, it should never be the case that anybody has to rely on food charity. And so what we're hopeful is that people will donate those cans, they'll donate those funds, but not everybody can do that. But every Canadian can advocate for change, and that means developing affordable housing, and it means making sure that people on disability have incomes that don't make them reliant on friends, family, and charity.
And again, that number of 1 in 10 means somebody you know in your circle of friends or work or whatever is having to access food banks. So you're helping people that you know.
Absolutely, you are.
All right, Neil, always great to have you on.
It's great to see you.
All the best to you and everybody who's volunteering and working hard down at the food bank at the Daily Bread Food Bank. Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, you can visit, by the way, dailybread.ca. You can do it right now to look at more options for donating.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.